In League of Legends, the mid lane has the most impact on all the lanes because it's closest to all the lanes. It's closest to top and it's closest to bot. The same thing can be said about the jungle role because the jungle role influences mid, top, and bot. Now, in Dota, the same thing can be said about mid. Mid lane has the most influence on all the lanes because it's closest to all the lanes. Now, how about Deadlock? How does that compare? The dual lanes, respectively, are close to one another. So both dual lanes can influence one another. And also, the dual lanes have influence on their respective side solo lane. So left side dual lane has influence on the left side solo lane. Right side dual lane has influence on the right side solo lane. And obviously, the solo lanes do have impact on each other with TPs, but this is at 8 minutes. So an important consideration is 8 minutes. 10 minutes is earned timer. And my question to you is 2 minutes time of influence enough for the solo lane to have impact on the other solo lane? Because you think about it like this. 10 minutes, in my opinion, is where the game starts really changing because you have these urns spawning and stuff like that. You have these objectives that you can start fighting over. So for the dual lanes have 10 minutes of impact because that's when the game starts, 0 to 10 till earn. And the solo lanes, they only have 2 minutes of impact on the other solo lane. So at least for 8 minutes of the game, the solo lanes can only influence their dual lane. And then for 2 minutes past the 8 minutes and beyond, obviously, the dual lanes, or solo lanes rather, can influence each other through TP. So this kind of all ties into this concept that I want to discuss today in today's video, is that the dual lanes, in my opinion, have the most impact on Deadlock. If you ask any League of Legends player, mid lane and jungle are the most OP roles in the game, or rather the strongest roles in the game to carry with, because they have the influence on most parts of the map, right? Mid is closest to top, but I've already said this, and jungle can influence all 3 lanes. So that's what today's video is going to be discussing. Before I get into the video, this is the game I'm going to analyze, but I want to discuss the difference between 5v5 and 6v6. So in League of Legends and in Dota, most modern day MOBAs, it is a 5v5 game mode. And in Deadlock, it's very unique because it's 6v6. This is actually one of the reasons why I don't like Deadlock that well. I love Deadlock, but I don't like the 6v6 nature of this because it's very different than what League of Legends is. So in League of Legends, the individual compared to, says 6v6 mode, right, has way more impact because it's a 5v5, right? In League of Legends, at most, you 1v5. And this happens very often. You can easily do this. In Deadlock, you have to 1v6 at most, right? And yes, you can still 1v6 in Deadlock, whatever. But fighting 6 people versus fighting 5 people, it's a lot harder for the individual to, win a 1v6 than it is a 1v5, right? It's very simple. So Deadlock is a very unique game because instead of 5 players, you have 6 players. And what that means is making sure your team is healthy, making sure all your team is strong through roaming, through ganking, through supporting, whatever, right? Getting everyone ahead has a lot more impact than it does in League, because in League, you can easily 1v5. In Deadlock, 1v6ing is a bit harder. So I hope this makes sense to you guys, but this is, I believe, going to be a fundamental part of Deadlock. Because there's more players, you have to play for the team. So kind of going back to that dual lane thing where the dual lane has more impact on all the lanes and the solo lanes, playing dual lane works perfectly with a 6v6 kind of sense in Deadlock because you get to help the solo lane and the dual lanes. I have impact on technically 4 people in the game. There's only 1 person I don't have impact on, and that's Lash because he's too far away from me. So I have impact on my own dual lane, I have impact on the other dual lane, and I have impact on the solo lane. Lash only has impact on 2 other people. I have impact on 4 people. Right? This is very important. Something I believe that will be very important in the future of Deadlock. So, enough the yapping. Let's get into the video. An important thing you need to understand is your objective in Deadlock is to take the enemy patron, obviously. And you do that through souls. So, souls are something you don't want to neglect. So you might take what I said at the beginning and be like, oh, okay, I just spam roam then and ignore all the souls. Well, that'll be bad because for your roams, you're going to get very weak. You're going to lose a lot of souls because you're not at your waves. So what you need to do is maximize your farm while also maximizing your roaming. And how I like to do that is as McGinnis. McGinnis is a very unique character in Deadlock. She has one of the strongest pushing powers and early game pryos in the game. Her magazine is 66 bullets, 2 minutes in. She has wall to shove wave. She has medicinal specter to sustain in lane. She has mini turret to push waves even more. That's besides the point. So what I do as McGinnis is I just spam shove the wave, get all the CS out the way. Because if I shove the wave and I kill all the minions, I have all the money from that wave. And I can also do that easily through monster rounds. So what I do is I shove the waves in McGinnis and I roam. Obviously here, it's a bit improper because there is indeed one minion left, or there were 2 minions left. Pocket just killed one here. So it is a bit of an improper roam, but I do value the 1 or 2 CS that I missed. Not that heavily here. I got most of the wave, and as I'm leaving, I do get that other CS, I think, through range. So I think the only thing I miss is this one. But besides that, I mean, 1 minion for a good roam isn't really that big of a deal. Also, sometimes these roams, time is of the essence. You really don't have like that big of a window to hit them. So I kind of just want to go early on this roam, get, ahead. Because look at the Mo and Krill's wave. Mo and Krill's wave. So I know I'm going on such a ramble here, but waves in Deadlock are in essence how your character should be postured. So Mo and Krill is going to have, most of the lane control here, and Abrams will have less of the lane control because Mo and Krill's wave is shoved in more than Abrams. So this wave state is perfect to roam. Now if it was reversed and Mo and Krill was on this side and my Abrams was yellow or whatever, it'd be harder to roam because we'd have to fight under the Guardian. This is just basic MOBA stuff. I mean, there's a lot of educational content on games like League of Legends or Dota. I'm sure that kind of discusses even better and further. So this is just fundamental MOBA. So what I do is I shove in my wave and I come for the roam. And soul laners in Deadlock, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these dual laners, they don't roam. They don't really shove their waves and roam. And also, it's much easier to roam. I know I'm going on such a ramble here. It's much easier to roam in the dual lane because you have one person that can defend the Guardian. If you try to roam soul lane, no one is there to defend the Guardian, right? Your other soul lane can just, push in the Guardian, get your Guardian, etc., etc. It's a bit rough. But at least with dual lane, this guy can hold his grounding. So this is going to be a different video, but I believe for the future of Deadlock, it's going to contain roaming supports, just like how, Dota has like the supports and the off lane and safe lane, and League of Legends has a roaming support in bot lane, right? I believe that these two dual lanes are going to have roaming supports. So for me in this case, I'm the roaming support, and Pocket's just going to hold down the wave for me. And I told Pocket actually early game, like, Pocket, you're actually going to be a great character for this job because you have so much survivability in these 2v1s. If these guys happen to try to kill you, you have your cloak, you have your enchanter satchel, your suitcase, whatever you want to call it. You're very mobile, can get out of sticky situations very easily. So Pocket is actually great for this because he can survive the 2v1. So I shove in the wave, and I go to roam the Mo. And McGinnis is such a powerful character for roaming because you have this wall, right? Just literally denies space, you can't leave. And he's dead. So now, this offers a very unique kind of situation for this dual lane here. Mo and Krill's probably crying in comms, hey, I'm too blue or whatever, 2 in my lane. So what the enemy Vindicta tries to do is she tries to hold the lane. And unfortunately, because the randomness of Deadlock, let's say me and Vindicta were to roam, right? I roam to this lane, Vindicta roams to this lane. I have much more power as McGinnis because I have much more, like, easier ways to isolate Mo and Krill to shove waves, right? It just in essence, I think McGinnis is a much better ganker and roamer than Vindicta is. Now Vindicta is not bad because she has the stake, but I believe McGinnis to be extremely better. This is besides the point. I'm just yapping still. So the Vindicta is forced to roam because we killed the Mo and Krill and we're taking his Guardian, right? Think about it like this. 2 people are here taking the Guardian. No one is here to contest. If she were to stay, it would be 2 people here, but 1 person's holding. This Pocket can hold it down. So it's a very unique situation. And what the Vindicta tries to do is she tries to roam to hold down the Guardian. This is one of the reasons why roaming is so powerful in Deadlock. So we go, hit the Guardian. And Vindicta tries to, stop it. But because my character is so AIDS, we shove her off and we keep taking the Guardian. So basically the Vindicta has had no impact here. We keep slamming and keep slamming. Then Abrams goes in for the dive. We actually kill the Vindicta. So now Vindicta's probably getting yelled at in VC. And Mo and Krill is actually getting yelled again in VC. Yelled at again. So this lane's over. In 4 minutes of the game, we just ended this lane. This lane is completely over. Through one simple roam. A lot of players in this game, they don't know how to react to these roams. So, this is going to be a bit of a short video. I'm sure you guys can expand on this idea and innovate your own ideas on characters that would be really good for dual lane. Anytime I play McGinnis, I'm like, hey, let me go dual lane. Let me go dual lane. Because I have this pushing powers McGinnis that's uncontested. I have this roaming powers McGinnis. Right? So, let me know what you guys think in this video. And yeah, much love guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.